One of the most unbelievable fights that I personally have ever seen. You know, I have seen some pretty good ones in my 24 years. You have seen more because, well, you have more years on me in the boxing game. But this was, I don't say this often because I think it's a horrible term, but it was epic in every way of the word. In the third round, Marquez, you know, he worked his body punching into his game, and Pacquiao just happened to drop his hands because he thought Marquez was going to the body. Marquez faked going to the body with a left, went with an overhand right in the third round, knocked down Manny Pacquiao. Let me ask you this before I continue with our recap here. Have you ever seen Manny Pacquiao get knocked down like that after 1999? I mean, that was, I don't think I've ever seen that in Manny Pacquiao's prime career.
No, not since he's been a featherweight. It's been a long time since he's hit the deck. But some people would say he had it coming because he left himself open in this fight.
He also left himself open, you could say, because of the game plan from Marquez, because he kept throwing power punches. He wasn't throwing these soft jabs to set up anything. He was throwing body punches, and he was throwing them hard. And I think because of that, Pacquiao dropped his hands, thought that Marquez was going in with his left, went with an overhand right, and he knocked him down. So then we go to the fifth round. And I thought after that knockdown, Pacquiao responded very, very well. And he just kept boxing, and he kept moving, and he kept throwing his combinations, good head fakes, good head movement. So I thought from then on he was going to coast, play it cautious, fine. Fifth round, he catches Marquez, and he continually caught Marquez with a straight left hand. So from then on, Marquez's glove hit the canvas, and then of course in the sixth round, one of the not most brutal, but if you're a Pacquiao fan, it's absolutely horrifically brutal. Pacquiao's coming in, good head movement again. He fakes going in, takes half a step back, goes back in, and it was just a perfect punch, perfect timing from Marquez. With 1 second left in the sixth round, Marquez drops Pacquiao face first on the canvas. He was down for at least, I'd say, 3 minutes or something like that. Bittersweet, to say the least, Robert, wouldn't you say?
Oh, very bittersweet. I mean, it's the sweet science versus the bittersweet science. One never knows what's going to happen at any given time. Watching Pacquiao go down and watching Pacquiao stay down was horrific. There's no other word to explain it or to describe it. His wife was going nuts. The crowd had fallen silent. HBO's commentators, to their credit, maintained a steady stream of dialogue, but I think everybody was holding their breath because he was inert. He was immobile. He was down and he was out, cold. A terrible thing to see, a horrible thing to see. But it's boxing. What can one say? The brutality of boxing is no mystery, or at least it shouldn't be any mystery. And yet it was brutality married to science. I mean, it is the sweet science of bruising. It is the ability of one man to assert his will and to sort of recognize his opponent's weaknesses and to exploit those weaknesses, which is exactly what Marquez did.
Couldn't have said it any better, and I like the way you put it. Brutality married to science. The reason I say, and for people that may not have understood what I was saying, was it's bittersweet. It's sweet because Marquez gets his redemption. He finally gets that win. It's bitter because we possibly saw not just a fallen fighter and a broken fighter possibly from now on, but we saw a true champion who dominated the sport for so long and was such a dominating fighter in the weight classes that he decided to enroll in, and to see him go down like that, knocked out cold. The doctors rush into the ring, neutralizing his head. It was a great win, but it was also incredibly sad. Incredibly sad. And Robert, we were talking last night on the phone after the fight, and I asked you, and I'll have you explain to the audience once again, have you ever seen a fighter, not just a Pacquiao, but a fighter that good in every weight class that he has been in? Have you ever seen a fighter come back from a knockout like that and have another successful run in this sport?
It can happen, but it doesn't happen often. He didn't even remember being hit. It wasn't until he saw the replay that he understood that he had been hit. He didn't know that he was knocked out. He didn't see the punch. He didn't even feel the punch. He was unconscious the moment the punch landed. Whether Pacquiao can ever come back to the fighter that he was, I would say Well, the Pacquiao we saw last night was not the fighter that he was. I mean, we sort of watched his slow erosion as a fighter, and it has been slow. And again, because he is such a torrent of a fighter, it was barely noticeable. But it really started after the Cotto fight, and one began to sort of sense that Pacquiao was slipping slowly, surely, but not really clearly. It became more clear in his last two fights. The fight with Marquez, the third fight that is, and of course his fight with Timothy Bradley. So he has been slipping. So he is not the same fighter as he was, and when he returns, it's not a question of if he returns, when he returns, he will not be the same fighter that he was prior to last night.
Let me just maybe correct you from my standpoint and what I truly believe. The Marquez-Pacquiao quadruple fights that we saw. Pacquiao has possibly deteriorated from the brutality of those fights. I thought against Cotto he still looked incredibly good, obviously, with that win. Against Bradley, we both agreed that Pacquiao got robbed and he won that fight. So I don't know if he slowed down in the Bradley fight. I didn't think he slowed down much at all. Like, did he slow down a little bit? Yeah, with age and competing in this brutal sport for all these years. But for me personally, did I think he looked slow? Not really, because he kept hitting Marquez over and over and over again with those straight left hands. He unleashed brutal combinations. The fifth round was possibly the round of the year in boxing. So I don't know if I agree with you with that he slowed down. I think he just got hit from a guy who, I'm not going to say that he was juicing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm leaving that up to the viewers. Because if you didn't know, going into this fight, the sanctioning bodies and the two fighters' camps did not agree on drug testing prior to this fight, and Marquez brought in a guy who was heavily associated with the Balco controversy. So getting back to my previous point, I don't think Pacquiao looked slow. I don't think he dragged along at all.
Well, I think I think last night was interesting for a couple of reasons. One of which was we saw last night, certainly in the first 5 rounds, what looked like the resurrection of Manny Pacquiao.
Yes.
He was the Pacquiao of old. He was the Pacquiao with a fire in his belly, with dynamite in his fists. Somebody who really came to fight. Yeah. He wasn't going to take off half of each round. He was there to fight. So we saw the resurrection of Manny Pacquiao, and then we saw the demolition of Manny Pacquiao moments later. I mean, which makes the bittersweet nature of what transpired last night at the MGM Grand all the more bitter, rather than more sweet. So I feel as though we're sort of being pushed and pulled in different kinds of ways, because again, we saw the Pacquiao that we remember from years past, and yet we've never seen him as unconscious, lying on the ring canvas, unconscious. No. A real shocker, and one that I haven't really quite gotten over yet. Let
me ask you this about Marquez. You know, he's 39 years old. He obviously came in as the older fighter, 39 to Pacquiao's 33. And obviously, with their past, it's intriguing. And as I stated previously, he did hire someone that was involved in the Balco scandal. Do you personally think that he was juicing for this fight?
I can't really know. I do know that the Nevada Commission will run post-fight tests, so we'll find out if was anything to be detected. We'll find out, but I really can't know. I mean, I don't know what was going on in that camp. We do know that Angel Heredia, or as he changed his name to Hernandez, Memo Hernandez now, has this very shady past. And that he turned state's evidence, so basically he ratted out his colleagues so that he would not be tried, convicted, and jailed. So he's, not necessarily the finest customer in town, but he has found a home in boxing. Once again, boxing seems to be the refuge for people of that sort. And again, I mean, one has to assume that Marquez is innocent until proven guilty.
Sure.
Again, that he had this amazing sort of physical transformation is a bit alarming, but he is an athlete, and an impeccable athlete, and he is used to training for fights, which is, you know, is his preparation like for nothing else.
Yeah, and he drinks his own pee.
If anybody could transform his body, it would be him. Again, the question mark, or the asterisk, really relates to Hernandez.
Let me ask you this. In the 5th round, when they were just unleashing combinations on each other, and it was the sweet science at its best, Marquez got hit repeatedly, over and over and over, to his face with left hands. And from what I saw, he took him like a champ. Not only did he take him like a champ, he didn't move. He didn't step back. He didn't gallop back a little. He didn't get stunned. His knees didn't shake. He took a punch to the face, and he just stood there. So let me ask you this. Was it that, do you think Pacquiao's lost a step, which I honestly do not think he lost a step. We'll see what the future holds. But prior to that knockout, I don't think he did. Or do you think that it was the vigorous training of Marquez that he was able to somehow take those punches to his noggin over and over and over again?
Well, I don't know what training method enables one to sort of, train one's chin. I mean, as far as I know, one either has a good chin or doesn't have a good chin. It's sort of like a knockout punch. One either has a knockout punch or doesn't have a knockout punch. These are things that are really gifts of God, and all the trainers in the world really can't give a fighter those things if he doesn't possess them originally or on his own. So it's a real question. I mean, you're raising interesting questions, and questions that I frankly can't answer, and I don't want to sort of put myself in a position to accuse Marquez of anything, because again, there's no evidence. I mean, there are suspicions, and there are suspicions for good reason, because as we know, boxing is rife with people cutting corners.
Sure.
And there have been several PED scandals in the past year, so it's reasonable to have a suspicion, but again, I don't want to level any accusations at Marquez.
Robert, Bob Arum, your favorite guy, decided to say after the fight regarding a 5th fight, he was quoted as saying, "A 5th fight? Why not? Have you seen a more exciting fight in years?" Would you like to see a 5th fight between these guys and see Pacquiao and Marquez battle it out once again?
Would I want to see a 5th fight? I don't know. I mean, I would rather not see Pacquiao fight again, period. But I know that he will.
He said he will.
Way that he can. Yeah, well, and how else would he make $30 million in a night?
I'll tell you how he can make $100 million.
There you go. Well, $100 million by fighting Mayweather, perhaps. But who wants to see that?
Nobody.
I understand, and yet why would they want to see him fight Marquez a 5th time? We saw what happened the other night. Is it going to be different if they fight again? Perhaps. I don't know. I mean, whatever Bob Arum wants, Bob Arum will get. So I don't know. Do I want to see it? Not necessarily. But if it is if it's a fight that's being made, I'll be there.
Let me ask you this. Could you possibly foresee Marquez, if Pacquiao decides not to fight him or somehow that match is not made, and I'm just throwing out hypotheticals, could you see, because on the undercard, Yuriorkis Gamboa was there, can you see Marquez fighting Gamboa?
Well, it seems like a possibility. It certainly seems like a possibility. I was more impressed by Gamboa's opponent, Michael Farinas. I thought he put up an amazing performance, considering that he was up against Gamboa. I think Gamboa is a good fighter, a great fighter, frankly, but I don't think that he's disciplined enough for somebody like Marquez.
Another hypothetical, and it could easily happen this week, next week, the upcoming weeks, upcoming months. If Floyd Mayweather decides to tweet, Facebook, use social media, and decide to say that he will call out Manny Pacquiao, and he will want to fight Manny Pacquiao now, what would be your response to that, your knee-jerk reaction?
I would say typical. That would be my knee-jerk reaction. He had every opportunity to fight Pacquiao prior to Pacquiao being knocked out. This has been going on for years, and I don't know who's been stalling, whether it's the fighters, whether it's the promoters, perhaps it's the fighters and the promoters, because as we know, there's bad blood all over the place. But, I mean, to wait for this particular moment to sort of want to fight Pacquiao does a dishonor to Mayweather. And I perhaps dishonor is not a word that Floyd would embrace, but I mean, it seems as though it's dishonoring not just him and his wonderful skills and his incredible boxing abilities, but also in a sense it dishonors boxing. Sure. Why wait to this moment of all moments to want to fight Pacquiao? I hope he doesn't do it. I hope he has enough dignity that he refrains from calling out Pacquiao at this point.
Would you want to see it though? Wouldn't you be intrigued to see it?
Of course, I'd want to see it, but I want to see every fight. I want to see people fighting in alleys and parking lots. I mean, I want to see every fight, frankly. But I certainly would have rather have seen it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when they were both ostensibly at the top of their game. Sure. Not now that one fighter who has just been savagely knocked out. This is not necessarily the optimal time for this fight to be made, in my opinion.
Well, we will have to wait and see what the future holds for both of these fighters. Either way, a thrilling fight and one of the most brutal yet thrilling knockouts you'll ever see. Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You could follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his great writing at www.boxing.com. Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear what you guys think about this fight, about Mayweather even being thrown in there. All of our comments, please respond to those. Do us a favor as well. Subscribe to TYT Sports. Thank you, Mark Register, for coming in tonight. And Robert, we will talk to you again soon.
Okay. Thank you, Rick.